Welcome to Samlo Taoism Awesome Broadcast, and as known as the Slap Show. So this is the Taoism talk show and also Taoism lecture, you can say, brought to you by Teen Yet Dragon Taoism YouTube channel, and of course also right here I'm talking in this podcast setup. So today, who's talking to you right here anyway? I am your host, Ji Sifu, and so maybe you're new to the channel, maybe you're new to the podcast, but this will be one of the official. I kind of want to make it the first episode, but I actually have been trying to do podcasts for a few times already. So this is officially not the first episode, but we wish to start nicely this time to make it official. Okay, whatever that means. But anyway, hope you like the podcast and support, subscribe, share, and so on. So we're going to talk about Taoism and a lot of misunderstanding and things like that. You know, what most people get about Taoism out there compared to what Taoism really is inside. And I'm going to blow your mind. Okay, so before I actually start off, a little introduction to myself is that I am a Taoist master who teaches Taoism and Taoist magic, and I have been doing this for a long time already. So if you want to ordain into our lineage and learn, you can feel free to go to the website teenyetdragons.com, and you can get ordained, get real, get started. Long story short, you cannot learn Taoism by yourself. You can only kind of like get an introduction of things. But in order to really learn Taoism, you need to be a part of a lineage with a Sifu who can actually teach you. Okay? So today I'm going to talk about one common thing that people misunderstand about Taoism, and that is water. A metaphor of water that is always used in the Western Taoism culture. Western Taoism, not culture. Western Taoism, okay? So, yeah, basically, it's kind of funny because, first of all, people are into this Bruce Lee stuff. And Bruce Lee once said in his video, saying like, be like water, you know, like that kind of stuff. And people take that golden phrases and you know, they just keep repeating it and like, be like water. Water is strong. Water is whatever. And then they keep relating to all kind of things and miss out the most important point of this whole thing here. So I'm here to clarify with you what this actually means. Now, doing a little search on Google, okay, the most famous Taoism book out there called Tao Te King in Cantonese. So it's also called Tao Te Ching in Mandarin. And basically, when you search the thing up, okay, and then you add the word water at the back, basically you will get a lot of water quotes. And this is the first one that I found on Google, which I want to read to you and also explain how it is wrong. So right here, this quote, it's from a website called Goodreads. Okay, Goodreads. How good it is. Well, it doesn't really say from which chapter, but I already kind of know. So anyway, it says that water is fluid, soft, and yielding, but water will wear away rock, which is rigid and cannot yield. As a rule, whatever is fluid, soft, and yielding will overcome what is rigid and hard. This is another paradox. What is soft is strong. This is totally bullcrap. Well, I'm going to like kind of close the screen first, okay? So what I want to say right here is, yeah, you can't say water is strong, you know, like, oh, look at that machine spraying out water jet beam, like, you know, jetting out water and it can cut glass. And okay, wait a second. Okay, wait a second. anything is strong. Okay, can you say rock is not strong? Okay, water is strong, and so is rock, and so is fire, and so is wood, and so is air. Anything can be strong. So what the heck are you trying to say? Oh, air is not strong? Let's see how you live without air, right? If I suffocate you, take away the air, you're going to die too. So is air strong? Yeah, everything is strong. Light is strong. Sound is strong. So basically, if you want to say water is strong, it's basically like saying that you didn't say anything. Okay, there's no wisdom in this bullshit. Okay, so what are we supposed to talk about here? What is the passage initially talking about? Now, this all stems back to one phrase that this whole thing stems out from, which is 上善若水. 上善若水 is Cantonese, okay? In English, what it means, word by word, okay? 上 is the upper. 善 is benefits, like the upper benefits. 若水, as if like water. So what that means is like the uppers benefits the lowers like as if it is water. So how is it like water? How does it work? Well, in the 5 elements theory, the Mhang, right? Which is one of the ABC stuff in Taoism, okay? But somehow it's always misunderstood in the Western culture. Like they kind of like spread it all over the place, but spread it wrongly. So I'm going to might as well teach that right here, okay? So there you go. You got a free lesson, okay? Just... It's horrible, you know, when I look at this Western Taoism culture, it's like people say that, oh, this is Chinese food. And then what you see is like, oh, my goodness, what is this? Okay, anyway, let's get to the point, okay? So, 上善若水, the uppers benefit the lowers like water. Okay, I want you to think about one thing that water by itself, like how this thing works in nature. Like there's one property that it doesn't change with this water, okay? How does it move? Mhang, not 5 elements actually. Mhang is the 5 way of how things move, okay? So how does water move? I will let you think about it. Okay, so I gave you 2 seconds, right? You're supposed to get the answer. You don't get it yet? Oh, well, too bad. Okay, it's my turn now. Give me back the mic. Okay, anyway, so let's talk about the 5 elements of water, okay? Just water. Water is very simple, okay? When the water level is even, like at the same level, okay? Water doesn't move. But when it's not even, it will move. And it will only move from the top down the bottom. You see, like, very simple, like pouring water out of glass, okay? You kind of uneven the level, and then suddenly the water pours down, right? You never pour water and then see water go back up. It doesn't do that. Now, don't tell me about like, oh, but you can put it on a pump and no. I'm talking about like normal water, okay? No magic, no scientific machine involved, okay? Just water itself, it's like that. So what this passage is trying to say is that the uppers benefits the lowers. Okay, what is the uppers? Now here goes the most important thing you need to know. Being a disciple in a lineage, a Taoism lineage, or any kind of lineage actually, okay, you're the one who teach you stuff, okay? Like your, what we call your sifu is your upper, okay? So now let's talk about something you understand, okay? In a family, the parents is the upper, the kids is the lowers, agree, okay? Because the parents is bigger, they come here first, they're before you, therefore they're your uppers, okay? They have more resources than you do. Okay, so how does the uppers benefit the lowers like water? Like mom and dad benefit the kid below like water. Very simple. Because they're upper, their resources flow downward to you. and they don't take from you. Isn't that very simple? Right? They don't take back things from you. They don't like you do not, your job as a kid is not to give things, like give your resources back to the parents. Of course, there's this talk that we did a while ago about giving back, but that's giving back. Like you are supposed to take first, then you can give back. Okay, you don't be the first one to give. Okay, let's say like a boss giving salary. Okay, you're not supposed to give salary to your boss, right? It's the boss giving you the money, right? Okay, so the uppers benefit the lowers like water. So what that means is a lot of people have this comment on my YouTube channel. They always say, oh, I watch your show. That's a great show. Thanks for sharing. I hate to just jam in and say, no, I'm not sharing. But I really want to say it right here, okay? I'm not sharing with you, okay? I'm not sharing because me and you are not the same level in this subject. I'm a professional in this subject, and I know what I'm talking about, and I'm teaching the thing. You are not. You are a newbie, or you don't even know about the subject. You're not a professional, so you're the lower, and you're here to learn and to absorb, and that's why you're listening to my show, right? You're not discussing with me on the same table, like we're not talking while eating, that kind of chit-chat kind of discussion. This is not a forum. This is one side output, one side intake. Very simple. You consume my knowledge while you listen. That's the fact. You're here to consume. The consumer is always the lower party because the upper feed its resources, its knowledge, its light to you. That's how the water works. Okay? So now let's talk about how this applies if you are actually learning in a lineage or even in life, in anything, okay? You need to know your position. Are you being the upper or are you being the lower at that state? Now, if you are coming into here to learn, you need to know you want to learn, right? You want to consume my teaching, my knowledge. So you need to put yourself lower, as low as possible. The lower you put yourself, the faster the water travels down. Just like when you are pouring water, okay? If you kind of like just slant it a little bit and, very slowly pouring the water out, that slope is not very steep. And so water will flow down slowly. If you want the water to like really flow down faster, you need to get a steeper angle. That means the high and the low point has to have a bigger difference, okay? So that's right. The higher it is, the more speed, okay, for that water to travel downward. So that means if you go, let's say go into a company to work, okay? You are a newbie in the company, a business, right? Now, if you put yourself low, embracing the mindset of being a good lower party, what that means is you have to be like, I really want to learn. I really want to work for my uppers. I really want to absorb from this company, like that. I am here to be guided. Okay, that kind of mindset, like a new baby in the family. Okay, the baby will let go of all himself and let the uppers, which is the parents, to guide and control and direct him to do whatever he needs to do. Now, when you do this right, you will find that the uppers love you very fast, like very quickly, love you a lot. And they will eventually give you a lot because they see that you like it, you enjoy it, and you're really here in the state of being a lower and you want to learn and stuff. And so they will teach you, right? Just like as if, let's say you're the upper right now, okay? You are the parent. You got a new baby here. Now this baby is very, like what we say, behaving, okay? He really wants. So you will want to give when you look at this baby, because he's not resisting. He is loving, opening himself for whatever you want him to do, whatever you tell him. He is open up to absorb and to consume your guidance. And so you will be happy to guide. Now, let's say the opposite, okay? You have this baby and he's like full of resistance. You tell him to put on the pants and he just don't do it, and he crawl around, okay? You tell him to eat and then he start to like throw food around the table. You're like, what the heck are you doing? You are very mad at this baby because he's not listening, right? Very simple. Just like a disciple who came into the lineage right here. I am in the mood to teach and to give you my knowledge. But this disciple is kind of having a lot of resistance, okay? He's like a rock, stubborn, okay? He come in, what we say, like you come in with a cup that is full of your own kind of tea inside. So you're not here to consume, right? Are you like, do you go to a restaurant to eat, but before you go, you kind of like eat all the food you need at home and then you go to the restaurant? You're not even in the mood to eat anymore. Like your body is full. You cannot consume anything, right? So if you understand this water theory, you know how to be a lower party. Is to be empty, right? To be empty, to learn like a piece of fresh, blank piece of paper. That means anything that is in you which will stop you from learning, you need to get rid of it. That's right. It's very much like you're letting go of everything you know to learn things from fresh, from like the very, very fresh, like you have nothing in you. You open up yourself. You let yourself to like open up yourself to all sorts of possibilities, all sorts of potential that can come to you. Like just wait and see, see what will come to you. Don't make judgment. Don't make assumption, You have to really be in that state that you are totally here to learn. I'm open up. I'm all empty. I have nothing. I know nothing. Here we go. Okay. So I don't know if you actually have any experience learning from any people outside, but from what I know, okay, in the Kung Fu school or in, let's say the Japanese, they have this karate and their place is called a dojo, okay? So it's like equivalent to what we call Mo Gun in Chinese, okay? So basically like their place to learn stuff. Now when you go in there, and if you go in there and then you start learning like this, you call them sensei, right? In Japanese. Okay, so you're like, sensei. But in my other school, we don't do the punch like this. We don't kick like this. How come this is different? And then you know what? Very soon, your sensei is going to like, okay, you know what? Get the fuck out of here. That's what they will say, okay? You're not here to learn. Don't come to compare. If you want to learn, you open up yourself and learn what I teach right here. If you want to learn from other places, you go there and learn there. Don't come here, right? That's what happened to all the dojos out there. Like, if you're a master, if you're a teacher, you will hate disciples or students coming to you to learn and then start like asking you, how come there is this like this? How come here is like this? What I know before is not the same, that kind of stuff. It pisses the teacher off. Now, learning Taoism is alike. When you, like, there's so many different lineages and sects in Taoism, right? It doesn't matter what you read out there. It doesn't matter what you know before. It doesn't matter what background you have, as long as you chose one lineage or sect and you you decided to commit and devote to that path, your mind should be set to be like water. That means you should put yourself to the lowest possible point. Let go of everything. You are not going to be like water, okay? This thing about like Bruce Lee's phrase is it's like, oh, be like water. You have to be flexible, and that's not it, okay? It's totally not what we're talking about. You are not going to be like water. You have to learn from the principle of how water works in nature. Okay? The principle is got to know, first of all, you got to know which party you are, like what is your role. Are you the uppers or are you the lowers? You are not going to go to somewhere to learn and be equal, and be equal with the teacher side. Why? Why can't you be equal? Why can't you be like a teacher and a friend at the same time? It's not going to work, because the teacher don't need your stuff. Very simple. Like how water works. When water is at the same level, it doesn't move. There's no movement on water that is at the same level. That means they're sharing. Okay? Sharing means that I can take from you and you can take from me. Now that's sharing. Now, but I don't want your stuff. You come into my lineage to learn, right? I'm here to teach only. I'm here to give. I don't want your stuff, right? So how are we the same level? I don't want your stuff. You come in to request. You are the party that wants, but I am not. And basically that already sets the upper and lower party. The party that wants is the party that is lower, because the other party is the party that have, and that party is the one that basically is the upper, because the upper give to the lowers. Very simple. Now, what about the rock and whatever that passage talk about? Like the rocks are rigid and yielding and whatever. Okay, so I want to get into this rock thing. Now, what about the rocks? Well, that passage basically talks about like water is soft and fluid and it just passed by the rocks and it doesn't like fight with them, okay? It doesn't try to fight with them. Well, that is totally not right, okay? What it means is that if there are stubbornness, like rock-headed people, like if you come into the lineage and you're stubborn, okay, what happened is that the water that flows down from the top, which is like the knowledge and the wisdom that flows down from me to you, okay, these water are going to pass by you. It's going to like slip by your body and go away. That means that you're not going to be able to absorb anything coming your way. That means it's like, okay, you are going to a class or a seminar or whatever to learn, right? You go there and your mind is like all clogged up and you're like super stubborn, okay? If you are stubborn, you cannot learn anything. How hard is this to understand, right? Because you're not open up, right? You are like a rock. So all the wisdom, all the teaching coming from the teacher side, the upper side, is going to go to you and slip by you, and you cannot get anything. And that's what this is about. Like, that's what the passage is talking about. You have to understand that you should not be like the rock, because the rock is not going to, like water coming down, okay, it's not going to fight with you. Like, I'm going to teach you, I'm not going to fight with you. If you don't agree, you don't want to listen, or, you know, you're here and you're like super stubborn, I am not going to fight with you and argue with you and try to make you, like, convince you about, oh, listen, you know, this is right. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, like, give you a few teachings, and then eventually it will slip by you and you will lose interest. And, well, I will just keep providing my teaching to everyone around you, but you are the stubborn one. You're the rock, right? So you are going to be there, and you're going to see all these teachings slip by you, and you're not going to absorb anything. Even I am teaching, even I'm giving, you are not going to get anything in your hand because you are stubborn. And that goes the same to learning anything in this world. Learning from a chef, let's say you're going to learn cooking, right? Well, you learn from this chef, and this chef do things like this. And then now you're going to learn from another chef, and the other chef teach you another way to do things. And then you keep saying that, but, that other chef is not like that. When I was working here, my supervisor told me to do this, and how come you're like different? If you do that, okay, that chef who is supposed to teach you is going to be pissed. He is going to want to ignore you very soon. He's going to just, fuck off. That's what you are doing when you are being so stubborn and you keep bringing up the other stuff, the other obstructive forces into the picture and make people not want to give to you. And that also happened in school or in workplace, in many, many places in life. Just like saying going to school, okay? This is a real example. I got a disciple who's a student, right? The student go to school. And, well, obviously, in a class, okay, you have teachers and you have students, right? So during that time, the teacher leads the class, okay? The teacher leads the class. It's a gym class, okay? So, yeah, basically what happened is the teacher set the rule and say everybody got to wear running shoes and shorts and whatever, okay? There's like a dress code. So everybody needs to have sneakers. And, well, basically what happened is this disciple got stubborn and he forgot to wear sneakers. So he wore something else that looks like a sneaker, but it's actually a boot, okay? But he's trying to argue with the teacher saying that, but I also have shoelaces, I have the tractions, and I have all that stuff. It's just like a sneaker. It's just different look, Well, what happened is eventually you piss people off because they say, number one is the teacher said you're wrong. Okay? You don't accept it and you start to argue, fight, just like a rock, right? Like a rock. So you start to be hard with your uppers. Now, the uppers start to explain a bit and you still don't get it. Too bad. Whatever the upper is supposed to give you will just slip by you, and eventually everything later on, like all the other classes or the whatever, you're not going to earn the like from this teacher. This teacher will start to not want to give you all the help or the guidance, and so you'll be more like ignored in the class. And when you do that, well, yeah, you are going physically, you're going to class, but at the same time, you feel being ignored and you're not going to get any benefit. And, well, when you are going to go to class and not being like, no one gives you any attention and you're like invisible in there, how is that going to be fun for you? How is that going to benefit you in the long run, right? Now, if you are a Taoist and you have this wisdom of like water and rock and that kind of wisdom, so how will you handle this situation to make life better? Well, very simple. You know that you're the lower party, right? So be as low as possible. Being low means that you have to empty yourself. Let go of yourself. Let the uppers set the rule for you. And your job is to obey the rule. When you do that, nothing's going to go wrong. Now, what happened if the teacher say, hey, your shoes is not right, okay? You're supposed to wear a sneaker. Why are you wearing that boots right here? Now, your first thing is to accept. Yeah. I mean, what does it cost you anyway, right? It doesn't cost you a dime to accept that, oh, yes. I'm not saying that. It's no problem, right? So when the teacher say, you're supposed to wear this, and then you say, oh, yes, sorry. Okay? Like instantly, the teacher is going to not want to go hard on you because you already apologized, right? You accepted what the teacher said. Now, next is asking, like, because you accepted the water, right? So you soak the water in. Now, next is to give back. What to give back is a feedback. Okay? So the teacher say, this is wrong, right? So you will ask the teacher, well, okay, so I don't have sneakers now. What do I do? Okay? So the teacher will be like, well, you can still go on with this class, but next class, remember to wear sneakers. And then you just say, okay, problem solved, case closed. There's no conflict from here and on, right? See how easy? Or maybe the teacher will say, well, you cannot continue the class because you don't have the shoes. Okay, you got that direction from the teacher, right? So, and then you give a feedback. You ask them, what do I do then? The teacher is supposed to give you all the direction and the instruction of what to do. So the teacher say, well, you sit right here for this class, and next class you come with the proper shoes. And then, okay, and then you sit there, playing your phone, whatever. Well, yeah, the teacher just say you sit there, right? You can sit there and do anything. You can play your phone, you can study, you can do other things, but basically, the whole idea is that the problem is solved without any conflict to come in the future. That means tomorrow or the next day or the next week, the teacher look at you is not going to give you further troubles. Like he's not going to pick on you and, because of that argument, right? So the next day, the next week, next month, or the next semester, you're not going to have issue because this is how you dealt with problems. Now, take this a step further into the career path. Like, let's say you are actually working in a company right now, okay? A lot of people are very stubborn when they're young. I mean, young, like when they're like in the early 20s or mid-20s and things like that. They're very stubborn. They always want to be right about things. And this is actually one of the most disastrous thing you can do to yourself in a company, because your uppers very clearly those people who are there before you, such as your supervisor, your manager, your boss, whoever is above you, right, in rank. So when they say something, your job at the lower is to follow and like to do whatever is told, not to obstruct the guidance from the uppers. Now, you might have a little question here. What if they're telling me to do something that is wrong? Okay? Like, what if they tell me to do something like to steal money from the company and I still do it? Well, of course not. Okay? So being a Taoist, there's this wisdom of understanding the problem and dealing with it the right way. Okay? Let's say the uppers give you some kind of guidance that leads you to a negative outcome. Let's say they want you to do something bad, steal money or whatever, and it will lead you to have something bad happen to you. Okay? Of course, you know that it is bad to do because it will lead to some kind of, bad consequence. So you're not going to do it, right? So the thing is, you accept first and you give feedback. Feedback is not like, oh, I don't like, not like that. Feedback means you got something and you give something back that can express to them about what you feel after you got that thing. So let's say this person tell you to steal money from the company, okay? Now you should do this and that and steal the money, steal the cash. Well, it's bad to do, right? Very simple. You give back to the uppers. You are the lowers, right? the lowers are supposed to connect back to the highest, the uppers above. So you find your highest reachable point and you tell them about it and ask for guidance. You say, well, this manager told me to do this and I'm not going to do it. So I want to tell you and remain anonymous. When your big boss know about it, he will handle the situation. Leave the situation to those who have power to handle and not to handle it yourself. Of course, you're not going to give back directly to that manager. You know he's bad already, right? So you need to find the uppers that is higher than the manager and just keep reaching for the top. So basically, naturally, actually, we all do that. Let's say in a family, okay, there's a elder brother and then there's a younger brother. So the elder brother tried to tell the younger brother to do something bad and trick him to do something that will make him get hurt or something like that. The younger brother don't like it. Naturally, what will he do? The younger brother will naturally go and tell mom and dad, right? Because they are the real uppers above this person. So in a work situation, it's the same. Your manager or supervisor is just like your elder brother or sister, something like that. Okay? So if that path from them to you, there's something bad happening, you find the mom and dad that is above him and let them handle the situation. Now, how are you going to say it? That's the trick. You're not going to say it like you're talking behind people's back, okay? You say it by using a form of request for guidance. Number one, you have to let that person, the big boss, okay, let them see what is happening. So number one is you lay out all the facts, okay? Nothing added with your feeling or the fact. So what happened now is Mr. whatever manager told me this and that and that. That is the fact, okay? Number two is what about you after you absorbed it, okay? And so you will say, I don't know what to do, okay? And therefore, number three is give the control wheel to this person, to the big boss. And so last you will say, so what should I do? And whatever, it's up to the boss to tell you what to do. So you ask the boss, this is what the manager told me. I don't know what to do. I'm here to tell you and ask you for guidance. So this boss will then say, okay, you will just do whatever you're doing. I will handle the situation. And then you will be like, okay, no problem. That's enough, right? So you don't have to say more. The boss will know how to handle the situation. That's very much like that, right? Like everywhere, okay? That's how it works. As you can see, being like water is not like blind following something. You must always know that you are not going to blindly follow the uppers because your uppers can be wrong. Now, what if the uppers is wrong? You give back to the uppers of the uppers. And basically, that is what going to solve the problem. Because you need that kind of cycle, that kind of upper-lower kind of relationship to solve problems. Okay, so this is a very long show, and we're going to stop right here, I think. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And hope you like this kind of talk show. If you like these kind of talk show, remember to comment in my podcast or in the YouTube. Okay, comment below and let me know. Okay, so we'll see you next time. That's it for today. Bye-bye.